Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a heroic heavy bolter build for the heavy class in Space Marine 2 patch 13. Now, this build will be building around a Raven Guard setup with the Raven Guard bolt pistol skin and the heroic heavy bolter with strategic stand to give us no knockback and way more contested health recovery in our heavy stance. Now, the heroic heavy bolter is in my opinion the best heavy weapon for operations and hard strats currently, mainly because the bolter's got a buff this patch to have significantly higher body shot damage, and because of that you are able to just shred through my Norse hordes far more easily on the heavy bolter especially, and this is the best heavy bolter because you do have a fencing parry window with a 50% increase window as well, on top of the fact that this weapon will reach the maximum fire rate of a heavy bolter immediately as opposed to the relic tier option that does require a bit of wind up to actually reach like the maximum fire rate. So your DPS goes from 0 to 100, which is very strong for like just a general heavy bolter build, but especially on strategic stand, because that means we are getting our maximum contested health recovery immediately after, like, you know, pulling the trigger from heavy stance. So really good combo there. Now for the perk tree, I do start off with the perk here, Fast Venting first, moving here into the perk Perfect Cooling, and then we pick up the perk Increased Capacity and Headhunter for a 10% damage buff. Now on this build, you can skip over Heavy Immunity because we do have no knockback from a Strategic Stand, which makes this significantly better for like our perk tree options. Then move through here into the perk Adamant Restoration. Now you could take the perk Adamant Hunter if you wanted to, but on this build, you're usually going to be getting all of your contested health back far too fast to like actually sit below 30% HP, and you also don't have the Fortitude perk, so being at that low HP value is a little bit more dangerous. So for that reason, I do prefer Adamant Restoration. Next perk here is Heavy Might and Heavy Might for a 30% damage buff in heavy stance. Then I go down here to grab the perk Heavy Precision for a reduced spread. This actually helps out a fair bit in my experience of like long range shooting. You don't have to take this if you don't want to. The alternative here is like skipping over this perk and just skipping over this perk and going down here for Perpetual Cooling and Divine Might. That is up to you. Now the next perk I take here regardless is Discipline. When you have low ammo, you'll deal 25% more damage. This buff to your damage is just tremendous. It triggers all the time, and you can definitely notice the 25% increase here. Super strong perk effect. The one down here for weapon spread is not like god awful. This one is just way better because damage is damage. And the next perk here is Fast Venting up here into the perk Increased Capacity, and the final perk is Great Might for 10% bonus damage against terminus level enemies, and that's pretty much all there is for this build setup. Now I will say, if you don't care about the ammo up here that much, you can skip this perk and like skip this perk here and also go down for Divine Might for a 10% buff, or alternatively you just like skip one of these perks here and just pick up Perpetual Cooling. There are quite a few ways you can build this, and the perk down here, Perpetual Penetration, for each shot penetrating one additional target. This perk is not awful, I just kind of don't like it on a heavy bolter because your piercing here is already quite high, but if you want to take this with the increased body shot damage in patch 13, it's not a terrible option. And the perk over here, Home Precision, for a 50% reduction in your weapon spread when firing without aiming, this is not very useful at all because when you're using this gun, you pretty much always want to be in heavy stance. Now for the secondary here, since we are a Raven Guard, we took the Firepower Bolt Pistol with the Raven Guard skin. Now you don't have to take this if you don't want to. You can take like a Rate of Fire Plasma, Heroic Plasma, Inferno Pistol even if you wanted, but to, you know, maximize our outfit, we decided to take this one today, and the Firepower version just has the best gun strike damage, and the ammo economy here is already very strong for us, so we don't really care too much about like losing a bit of magazine capacity and ammo reserve options. And for the perk tree, we do go down the top tree predominantly for things like Perpetual Precision, into the perk here Headhunter, Gunstrike Reload, Increased Capacity, the perk Headhunter again, and then we pick up the most important perk here, which is Elite Hunter. After killing a Majorist or higher enemy with a melee weapon, headshots will deal 50% more damage for 10 seconds. Now you may say like, Mr. Guardsman, why are we taking a melee kill perk on a heavy class? Well, this perk will also trigger on like a melee execute, not just a melee kill. So if you execute an enemy, you will trigger this perk effect. Just keep in mind, you have to have your secondary weapon here equipped to trigger this. If you swap off, you will lose the 10-second duration. And one more thing is that the fencing parry window on the Chains of Duty Heroic Heavy Bolter, this will only be active while your weapon is actually equipped. So if you swap off of that to your secondary, you are back to a balanced parry window. We can get back the moment you swap, so just keep that in mind. And that is pretty much all there is for the weapon selection. Now for our perk tree, I do start off with the perk here, Restoration first, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession towards an armor segment. The cooldown is 15 seconds. Now, Armor Restore in Space Marine 2 is incredible because any amount of armor remaining in this game will reduce all incoming melee damage to 0, even from bosses, so this is super helpful against like a Carnifex, a Tyranid Prime, Hive Tyrant, you name it. Very powerful effect to like prevent HP damage, and if you do lose your HP, that is why we take the next perk here, Strategic Stand. While in heavy stance, dealing damage restores 15% more contested health. You don't lose 12 heavy hits, you cannot be knocked back, but you will not be able to move. Now, not being able to move really does not matter too much on this build. Strategic Stand is very strong for contested health recovery. Now, your total HP is lower here than it would be of Fortitude, but you kind of make up for that by taking the perk down here, Conviction, for a 25% damage reduction, because this does make you significantly tankier, even though your overall HP is lower than it would be with this perk. Next perk here is Overwhelming Power. When Iron Halo is active, all team members in 10 meters deal 10% more range damage. This is a nice buff for you and your teammates, but there's also a hidden interaction here where Overwhelming Power will trigger simultaneously with the perk over here, Brute Force, for a 25% buff to your range damage in total, and that feels really good with the Heavy Bolter. Like, let's say you're shooting a Neurothrope or something that has reduced HP in this patch, you do a ton of extra damage on the 25% buff here. It also allows you to pull off your full damage potential, so really strong option. Next perk here is Additional Supplies. Ammo capacity for all team members' primary weapons increases by 25%. Now, why am I taking this? Well, the reason is, if we max out our ammo capacity here, we are actually getting more ammunition back on every single trigger of the perk down here, Auxiliary Reload. This one says, melee kills of extremist or higher enemies restore your primary weapons ammo by 1 magazine, or excuse me, your primary weapons ammo by 1 magazine. This will allow you to get a percentage restore on every single heavy stance weapon, because despite them saying magazine capacity here, they are restoring you on like a particular percentage, as opposed to the heavy bolt rifle that would only be restoring you like 45 shots or whatever you take with like Send magazine. So for that reason, having a higher base total actually gives you way more ammo back on every trigger of this, so that's why Additional Supplies can be pretty nice. Though I will say, if you want to have like more survivability here, you can take Encompassing Aegis instead for a 25% range damage reduction for all of your team members. This perk is also very strong. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession with equipment charged by 1. Cooldown is 90 seconds. This just gives us 90-second Melta Bombs, Crack Grenades, Shocks, Pyroblaster Canisters. That helps out with Horde Clear a ton, because there are points in time where a Raged Sword Majoris will be very obnoxious to deal with than a Melta Bomb. If you do find a very powerful equipment in your game, that will help you out tremendously. Now, I will say, if you want to skip over this perk for the perk up here, Adamant Will, instead, you can definitely do that. A 20% health damage reduction for 10 seconds here is very strong to make you way tankier, and will stack with Conviction down here for a total of 45%. So if you want to do that, you can. This is just better for like overall damage and horde clear, and sometimes blowing up a problem is better than being able to just like tank damage from it. Next perk here is Power Regulator. Iron Hail loses energy 20% more slowly. In my test, the Power Regulator buff here comes out to be almost as good as the Field Adjustment Iron Halo recharge rate. However, Field Adjustment, it makes you lose durability, so if you want to take this, you can do that. I just prefer this one to keep that durability without actually like losing too much on the cooldown buff that you would get from this one. Next perk here is Brute Force for the reasons I previously mentioned. Then I move here into the perk Offensive Capability. When active, Iron Halo deals damage over time to all enemies within 5 meters. This perk is super strong. You will one-shot the Bramble, you will one-shot Cultists, you'll knock away Spore Mines and stuff like that. It is a great utility perk. This also does a pretty significant amount of damage over time to like Extremists, Majoris, and even bosses. It's not like that significant, I guess, but it's enough to pick you up executes occasionally. You'll even see that in the gameplay portion where a Ravener's like, you know, just forcing me into a parry chain. We pick up the execute where we otherwise have to wait for like the 3rd hit and a gun strike, and because of that, I think this perk here is very valuable. Though if you're in a coordinated team, the perk down here, Conversion Field, is also very strong for an ability charge increase of 50% within 20 meters of an active Iron Halo. That's pretty noticeable, especially for longer cooldowns in the game like Bulwark. Now, for the Prestige perk options, number 1, Auxiliary Reload. Melee kills of extremists or higher enemies restore private ammo by 1 magazine. This just solves your ammo economies, where a lot of your ammo will actually come from. Getting like a free ammo box or 2 from a single extremist is super strong for your build, so we definitely pick this up on pretty much all of them. Next perk here is Conviction for damage reduction, like I mentioned before. Then I grab the perk here, Indomitable Spirit. While performing a gun strike, You do not lose control from heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back. Having no knockback on a gun strike is phenomenal in this game. Without this, you will be staggered at times, and the big thing is that the heavy does not have a ton of access to no knockback in this game. The only way you really get that is in your heavy stance with perks like this, or the heavy immunity perk in your actual perk tree, or with perk effects like Indomitable Spirit that will give you the no knockback, and sometimes you need to gun strike something to A, get your CHP back, or simply kill it and get an execute, so for that reason, you pretty much always want this perk. Final perk is up to you. You could take Home Precision, you could take Exponential Force, Reverberating Impact, or Duelist, really whatever you want, but these three I think you should pretty much always take. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. I think the Heroic Heavy Bolter is just super fun in this patch. I'll probably make some builds around like the other relic tier options here because you can achieve higher damage on a like firepower variant, but for now this is like the overall strongest, and hopefully this build guide helped you. If you like content like this, subscribe for more, and if you want to catch me live to ask me questions about the game or just come hang out, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description. I'll say a link to my community Discord. And as always, thank you for watching, take it easy, bye.
That one is running the third floor. We stop their call for it. Let us finish this. Sanctify the leaders. You're an victory. That is not war. Our adversary has been...
Look at that strategic stand health recovery. Is that not free?
Every last feed off for the Imperium. That silence between these violent cities. No holding. Fresh magazine. Intercepting projectiles. No foe and foe can withstand us.
To serve here carries the highest privilege. To deliver the Emperor's violent retribution.
Tyranids dispatched. Pack a little more bite. Reload. Execute Iron Halo tactics. Fresh magazine.
Man, this gun feels so much better now. What heavy build is this? It looks fun as fuck. We're gonna make a video on it after, so stay tuned, stay tuned.
Squad Heraton reporting in. The bridge is lost, as are my squad brothers. I am cut off from our planned route to the Ordnance Depot. Calculating a new route based on your report, Heraton. Standing by. Be advised, the cruiser's crew managed to execute security protocols before
You have been in the Hellbridge strat? Yes, I do.
Brood.
I have a video I sold it on. Did you already make a poll on YouTube? What will the next class be? If you did, I didn't see it. I've done that multiple times, but like I guess I could do it now. But the answer is probably the same, probably Chaplain.
Progressing to primary console interface to initiate security bypass. Find and restart the power routers with the correct markings.
Their attacks will shatter. Execute that one. Let the summon aid. Steel yourself. More are coming. The Codex demands
But that health recovery on this is nuts.
This could be job. Execute high and halo tactics. Throw one back up. Tonight. Eradicate every last Xenos. Fresh cartridge. Door to the tower.
Activate the correct nodules. Match the emblems.
Crush the ravenous brood. Keep them off guard. Inserting rounds.
Match confirmed.
No holding back now. That swarm of Xenos is devoured at last.
Successful activation.
Where's the final one?
Master switch confirmed. Network restoration in progress. Engineering networks coming back to functionality. Expedited route to plasma engines required. The lift platform is in transit. Arrival pending. Rally at the lift platform. Attention boarding parties. We have confirmation that Combat Squad Phaedrus is lost. I need a mission status update from all remaining combat squads. Combat Squad Heraton here. Redirecting along newly advised path. Combat Squad Octavio reporting in.
Alright guys, rate our Raven Guards up here by the way. I think we look pretty damn good.
Talasa, you are nearing the reactor cooling hall. Report on its condition when you arrive.
Observed, I think with the Prime.
Heavy Xenos infestation present. All squads, we have updated our battle stratagems. Heraton, reinforce Octavio and protect the cyclonic armaments. Talasa,
The solo absolute? Yes it is. Bro, you look hella good. Thank you, thank you. We tried very hard on this outfit. We can give ourselves like little knuckles here. We can give ourselves a little bit of a red trim. I was gonna try to go for like the white helmet at first, but I think the pure black actually works pretty well here.
To prime the armaments. When you reach the reactor's cooling console, disable the emergency blast shields.
We can probably watch good stream.
Emergency blast
I'm gonna
shields
do this.
retracting.
That didn't work. Not really. Okay, that may have been a little ambitious. Oh, of course, it gives me a frag now. Cool. Whatever, we'll get another one.
Concentrate fire on the exposed cooling rods.
your footing! Heroes! Vanquishing for the Imperium! Skitters this way, Xenos!
Cooler bolt exposed. Shoot them.
You failed that order! Faith.
Why is my gun firing that way? What the fuck?
Sanctified allegiance.
Exposed points are vulnerable to damage.
Xenos biomass on scope. Crush the ravenous brood beneath power. Reload.
Whoops. Oh, I should probably kept shooting there. Okay. That was a little close. That was close. So much range spam here. Oh my god.
Cooler bolt exposed. Shoot them.
That silence the tuning of shit. Dare attack the Codex demand. Skitter to the grave.
Exposed points are vulnerable to damage.
This tide of Xenos is ending. Alien instrument flag. This galaxy is not yours to devour.
Elements of the cooling boiler array are cloaked. Obstacle detected.
Pack a little more bite.
Target acquired. Target destroyed. Acquire registering extreme temperature fluctuation. Plasma cooling efficacy severe. Access granted to the bridge
Hold
house.
on. Okay, alright. I know whose alt accounts these are. Josh, you gave it away. Your fault, dude. You gave the whole gig away, dude. You're like the one. Like everyone else came in with like perfect disguises. You just came in with like a gigantic red T-shirt that said "We're trolling."
Stop that target from riding brick walls. Crush the ravenous brute.
I don't know why I did that. Oh yeah.
Fresh cartridge.
Greens all Farias, what is up?
Temperatures at critical level. Plasma reactors shutting down to prevent catastrophic detonation. Talassa, do not let the reactors cool down. This cruiser will soon perform its final task. Proceed to the decks below and
That's why
force the
offensive
plasma
capability is good.
reactors to overheat.
Pick this up the execute there.
Gas descends to the reactor chamber.
That's all. Tuning. Shit. So, watch for psychic onslaught. Skitter to the grave, Xenos. Another Xenos atrocity today. The Codex demand. My barrier intruders. Failed that ultimate. Ria,
Free up this game's on Steam? Yes. It is indeed.
Agnes here.
We could use a stim because we do have strategic stand, which means our overall HP is not that high. But you never know.
Xenos
Medic
Lord
is him.
determined. A victory for the Imperium.
Talassa, have you received word from our brother in Combat Squad Heriton? His approach vector should have taken him through the technical underbelly. No transmissions from Combat Squad Heriton received. Understood. Be advised, we remain under heavy Tyranid assault. Expectation. Tyranids will withdraw from your locus, allowing you time to extract. This is ill-advised, Talassa. If you do not break the reactor to detonate, the cyclonic warheads will be wasted. Combat Squad Octavio will redouble our efforts to draw the Tyranids away from your position instead. Grab the Xenos filth no quarter,
All right.
Octavio.
That silence killed his wild shit.
Execute Iron Halo tactics.
This galaxy is not yours without power.
Talasa, we have lost contact with Heraton leader, and Octavio is pinned down. You must destabilize the plasma reactor. Our brothers from Phaedrus and Heraton shall not have died in vain. Talasa, ready to overload plasma core.
Enemy reserves incoming! Prepare to strike them down! Our boat shall bellow the zone. That one's calling reserve forces. Xenos biomass on scope. Skitter to the close. Keep going. One dead zone from closer to communications. Sanctified maneuvers. Intercepting projectiles.
Look at that body shot damage now, this thing.
Pack a little more bite.
Observation logged. Numerous dead servitors.
Foul Tyrion marked. Reload.
Access granted.
What? Huh? Okay.
Stay alert. Biological camouflage.
Now so he runs over there to come back around and then exactly.
The Starties hit harder.
Interesting choice.
No foe hides in the Imperial jungle. Keep them off guard. Their attacks will shatter. Crush the ravenous brutes beneath.
The lictor Naruto running around? Yeah. It's a funny ass way to put it.
Primary objective ahead.
That is the last of those filthy seals. Follow me through. Waste nothing, brothers.
Alright. As long as we don't let ourselves get damaged nuked here, we should be fine. Should be totally
That
fine.
reactor must be destroyed. Honor our brothers. Honor our chapter.
No holding back. That silence tuned in.
Attack from above incoming.
I am the Codex Demand. Galaxies the floor. My barrier endures. Sanctify believers.
Alright, we didn't hit anything. It makes the arena look cooler, that's all that matters.
Fresh magazine.
Aerial strike imminent.
Pack a little more bite.
Attack from above incoming. One target down. Remaining target enraged. Surviving prime displaying extreme ferocity. Apex Tyranid suppressed.
Farming for them caves, and we're just trying out this heavy bolter build.
Engage the console to cripple the reactor. And Talassa, when those magnetic stabilizers stop, prepare for rapid egress. Be advised, the gyroscopic containment shielding prevents catastrophic plasma dispersal.
Oh, I guess I have to hit the button. Important.
Plasma cores are now exposed. Caution advised. Reactor critical to Talassa. Disengage. Mission deadline imminent. Talassa, we're tracking your signatures. Octavio and Heriton Leader are already on board. Our brothers prevailed. Core detonation is now a mathematical certainty.
Sanctified release.
Plasma cascade in reactor cooling chamber. Multiple hull breaches detected. Reactor overheating. 10% of core integrity remains. Speed up, brothers. Requesting rapid egress. Bracelet. If not for your valor, Talassa.
And that's the strategic stand heroic heavy bolter build. That one's fun. I feel like that one.